User-generated content, or UGC, is hands down the fastest way to a full-time income in content creation. In this video, I'm gonna go over how I started making money in my first month with UGC with no skills, no followers, no social media presence, just pure determination and a cell phone. Let's jump into it. A year and a half ago, I heard the term UGC and I had no idea what it was. So what is UGC? It's user-generated content. So simply put, it's just video ads made by people who appear to be the consumer for brands to use as advertising. UGC is still in its infancy. That's why a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of brands still don't even know what UGC is, nor do they utilize it. So, unlike many people out there, I was a failed content creator and I heard this term, so it piqued my interest as a means to be profitable in content creation. So as I started looking into UGC more, I asked myself, how can I do this? I searched high and low, and a couple of years ago even, there wasn't a lot of information online about UGC, but I dug around and I dug around, and it seemed like this was something that I could do. And for the longest time, I always thought that content creation was just for the pretty people. As I dug more into UGC, I realized it's not just for the pretty people, it's literally for anyone. Because brands need a wide array of demographic profiles that appeal to the consumer when they're posting advertisements. So literally anyone can do UGC because brands are looking for anyone and everyone that matches their demographic profile to make ads for their products. So I dug deeper to try to learn how I could do this. So it was a deep dive into research, just research, research, research. And with there not being a lot of info out there, I wasn't sure what to do or how I could do it. As I dug deeper, I discovered that UGC is a female-dominated industry, about 95% female. And there was a massive underserved market here on the male side of things. So someone like me, who's not a pretty person, I consider myself to be just the average-looking blue-collar man, was a very underserved market in UGC, which piqued my interest even more because that means there was a gap that I could potentially fill if I could learn how to do this. But again, not knowing much about it or how to learn how to do it and the lack of information, I had to teach myself. So in my research, I came across Facebook ads library, which I knew absolutely, I didn't even know existed at that point. But when I found it, I found a whole host, an entire library of ads. And if you're finding value in this video, please hit the like and subscribe button to let YouTube know that you care. And once I realized this, I just started consuming every ad that I could possibly find in the Meta library. And that's when I realized UGC is for everyone. There was every shape, size, and color of people making these videos. So I just consumed as many of these videos as I could find. And as I started watching them and breaking them down, ad after ad after ad, I started to recognize a pattern in the structure. I figured out there's 4 main attributes that go into every ad. And that's authenticity, humor, energy, and emotion. And when I figured out the fundamental of these structures, that's when I just decided I've got to just start making videos. And that's the only way you're going to learn. And that's exactly what I did. I just turned on my camera and I started practicing. You just have to push record. And if you're like me or a lot of other people out there, speaking on camera has a certain level of anxiety that's very akin to public speaking. It was so nerve-wracking for me at first that I had no idea what to do in front of the camera. Every time I pushed record, I would just clam up and my brain would just go completely blank. But I just forced myself into doing it more and more and more. In fact, just recording myself doing and saying just anything and everything to get comfortable in front of the camera. But through the process, I started to see more patterns within these videos as I researched. And that's when I started to realize that almost every video not only had the 4 attributes, authenticity, humor, energy, and emotion. They had a basic video pattern structure of a hook, 3 points, and a CTA. And that's how I initially started out. So I started to find products around my house and just start making videos. And when I very first started, I didn't even have a portfolio. I actually just sent brands a Gmail link with some of the practice videos I made. But we all have to start somewhere, and that's exactly what I did. As a matter of fact, I realized on my TikTok, I still have one of the very first videos I made, and I'll show you guys here in a second. But looking back on it now, this video was horrendous as one of my practice videos that I used in my very first portfolio, but it still was good enough that I was able to get some brand deals. I'll show you this video now. Bad light can ruin a good video. With Luminate ring light, get the perfect light every time. It's simple to use USB connection, plugs into any wall charger or laptop. Turn it on with the inline remote and select between 3 separate light modes: natural, fluorescent, and cool. With 10 levels of adjustable intensity, you'll never miss that opportunity for the perfect TikTok again. Get your Luminate ring light now. Link is in the description. I mean, back then I thought I was working miracles, but looking back on it now, that was such a horrible video. And that was one of the first 4 or 5 videos I made to put into my portfolio after I practiced getting comfortable and confident in front of the camera. The light was bad. I started in a 36-foot broke down RV on my 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have the best environment. I thought I needed a higher quality camera to shoot with instead of just my cell phone. So I actually shot that with my DJI Osmo Action, which is why it has that fisheye effect. But even as bad as that video is, compared to what I can do now, it is mind-blowing. But we all start somewhere. And even as bad as that is, it's better than not starting at all. If you're interested in user-generated content but don't really know where to start, you can book a call with me to learn more about one-on-one coaching and getting started with UGC. My Calendly link will be in the description. So I continued to do this with several just products around my house. I did that ring light video. I think I actually did one about the DJI Osmo Action. I did another one about a wound spray for my pigs on the farm. I'll actually show you that one. I think I was just practicing different formats, so I did that one in a 16:9 just to practice different styles. And I'll show you guys that. I'll show you the next couple, just so you can understand, like, you do not have to be perfect in the beginning. You will gain skills as you practice, even just shooting with things you have around the house like I did. When my farm animals fight, bite, and struggle, injuries always occur, and keeping infection at bay can be a real struggle. I go straight to Dr. Naylor's Blue Coat. Blue Coat is a germ and fungal killing wound dressing. Just a quick spray helps protect against common infections, scrapes, cuts, lesions, and all kinds of wounds that can happen on a farm. Blue Coat is the only wound spray that I trust on my animals, and I know you can trust it on yours too. Get your Blue Coat today. Link is in the bio. Women love a wild man, but not a wild beard. Tame it with Naturnix Premium Beard Oil. If you're like me and your beard's coarse, dry, and generally unruly, just a few drops of Naturnix Premium Beard Oil with argan, jojoba, and aloe oil is sure to have the ladies loving the way your new beard feels. Tame the beast that is your beard and get Naturnix Premium Beard Oil today. Link is in the description. As you can see, in my opinion, those are horrible videos now. But they worked. They helped me build a portfolio that landed me my first couple of collaborations. And that's where the practice comes into play. And that led me into trying to figure out how I can get brand collaborations. How can I start making money with this? And how do you find brands that are willing to work with you, especially as a new creator? And you would be surprised. There are a ton of brands who are looking for new creators, because some new creators are phenomenal right off the bat. But still, even with horrible videos in the beginning, I still found brands that were willing to work with me. I didn't know how to find brands back then. So what I came up with in my head is I had found Meta Ads Library. In searching up different products, essentially, I knew every company on there was running ads. So they knew what UGC was, and they would work with people like me. So through a little more research, I discovered a website called apollo.io. And I combined that with Meta Ads Library. I would search up just products or industries that I was interested in, and I would find their ads. I'd figure out which company it was, and then you can come over to apollo.io, plug in that company name or even that industry or product, and find a whole slew of other companies that sell that same product. So let's say tents. So there's a whole slew of businesses that sell tents, and this is how you find their emails. Click on the company and then click on find leads on their employees, and you can access all the emails for the people in that company or target the specific emails for the people who handle social media and advertising, like marketers, web content, advertising. And I would email every one of those people. And I just did this over and over and over again every day after I had put my first 4 videos together and stuck them in a G drive. And I would link one of those videos in the email. And I would send anywhere from 30 to 65 emails a day to just every industry that I had some commonality with or some form of interest in, or products that I would potentially use. I was looking at, outdoor companies, camping, backpacking, hiking, rock climbing, beard brands, and just things of that nature. Anything that I had some form of an interest in, I would search up those companies on Meta or those products on Meta, and then I'd stick them into Apollo and find the emails. And I just emailed and emailed and emailed every day. And I was fine tuning my emails, trying to get them open and get a response. And after all that email outreach, it led me to my first collaboration. My first collaboration was for a watch brand. It was raw footage. It was just a one-off kind of rugged smartwatch that personally, in all honesty, was not even a really good watch, but I was so excited to get my first collaboration because it was something, but it was just gifted. From there, I kept emailing and emailing and emailing. And as a stroke of luck, my first paid collaboration was a retainer for 30 videos, 1 video a day on TikTok for another smartwatch brand that was supposed to be indestructible. Unfortunately, I didn't know a lot about negotiating or contracts or anything like that. I was still pretty unskilled on the business side of things when I took on this retainer collaboration for 30 videos. And the deal was, $750 for the 30 videos in 30 days, plus a 25% commission on whatever those videos sold off of TikTok. So I got paid up front for the 30 videos. So I just made $750. Boom, woo! I made money with UGC. I proved that it was possible, but then that collaboration took a really dark turn. And I got about 20 videos in, and I actually had one that took off and got on that account that they gave me, got like 620,000 views or 580,000 views, something like that. Other videos started taking off, 50,000, 30,000, and most of them were kind of cheesy. I didn't know a lot about organic content, so I was trying to structure UGC wise, and they did all right. And I asked them what the sales were looking like and if I could get a back end affiliate link so I could track the sales and know what I was making commissions off. And they said that wasn't possible, that the video had only made, only made 1 sale and this and that. And they started dodging me when it came to the commissions. I found out that that was their whole shtick. They hired like 10 or 15 other creators to do the same thing and blast out all this organic content and then never pay them commissions. So it was kind of a half scam, half good deal because I still got paid. But then I later found out that $750 for 30 videos is a horrible retainer. And let me see if I can actually find that video if it's still around. Yeah, I don't have access to the original account anymore, but that video is in my Instagram. And this video is my first winning paid UGC collaboration.
The working man's smartwatch. The watch you don't have to take off to get the job done. But if you do, you won't have to worry about where you put it. Where'd that watch go? Ah, there it is. If you work for a living, get your indestructible smartwatch now.
And you can see in just a couple of weeks, there's a massive difference in the quality from my practice test videos to just actually having a couple paid collaborations to practice with. So through my process of email outreach, my second paid collaboration ended up being for Wild Willie's beard brand. I was pretty stoked on this because that's a pretty big brand. It was probably the highest paying collaboration at that point, aside from the retainer, but per video, I made $100 per video, and I was stoked on this. Even though the videos weren't very good, but that email outreach had worked, and it got me another video to build a real portfolio. And with that, I was still doing research, I was still learning, and then I came across an app called Billo, and I applied for that, and I got in. And at the time, I didn't know it wasn't the most lucrative of brand deals that you can get, but I highly recommend it to anyone starting because you can get a plethora of different collaborations from different brands, and it is a great way to build your portfolio doing real brand work. Even though you only make anywhere from $20 to say $60 a video when you're first starting out. The next prior month in UGC, I did like 20 videos through Billo with a wider range of different products. And that allowed me to build out my portfolio with genuine collaborations. And from there, it was just an utter snowball effect all the way to where we are today. And from there, I just started building out my social media presence. I got a new Instagram for UGC, as I talked about in a previous video, Twitter, a new TikTok, and I just started practicing and making content and email outreach and putting a lot of those videos up on social media. And I just kept working at it and I kept emailing. And that is how I made money within my first month of doing UGC. And I just kept at it. And each month progressively got better and better and better to the point where within the first 6 months, I was making what most people would call a pretty substantial full-time income. And although I found UGC by accident, it has been a life-changing experience for me and one of the most enjoyable journeys in entrepreneurship I think I've ever done. From doing UGC, I've learned so many profitable skills in the world of content creation. And like I said in the beginning, UGC truly is the quickest way to a substantial income in the world of content creation. And if you want to check out this video here, you can follow my journey as I've built a brand new TikTok shop account on my journey to making $10K a month with TikTok shop affiliates. Thank you.